Hey everybody, I'm going to start doing some of our activities together on these videos. So this is new for me and I'm going to try it today and see how it goes. You guys will have some reading passages, some of you will, in some of your packets, and you'll have two passages a week. So you'll read the first passage on day 1 and write a summary about it. You'll read the second passage on day 2 and write a summary about it. And then you will keep reading those same 2 passages for the rest of the week and completing questions and different activities on them. So we're going to start with reading the first passage together today, and then I'm going to do another video with the writing of a summary of it. So we're going to read it together, and then we're going to do the activity together as well. Okay, so our first story is A Lion in the Bedroom. When James woke up, he found a lion sleeping on the floor next to his bed. Because he was 5 years old, he thought this was awesome. "Hello, lion," he yelled. The lion, a female with a patchy coat, opened one eye and stared at him lazily. Then she turned over and fell back asleep. James considered petting the lion or scratching its belly. Trixie, his old cat, loved belly scratches, but he was proud enough of his new pet that he wanted to tell his parents first. So he jumped out of bed and walked into the kitchen. His father was eating breakfast. Do you want me to strip the bathroom molding this weekend?" his father asked his mother. "Or can it wait a week?" "It can wait," she said, frowning, "but you should really want to strip the molding." "I got a lion!" yelled James. "That's nice, dear," said his mother. "Well played, son," said his father. "Most 5-year-olds go with something showier, like an ocelot or a puma, but you've gone the classic route." "I'm naming it Trixie the Second, Return of Trixie," said James. "I want to ride her to school." "Sure," his father said. "Everyone wants to ride their lion to school. But where will you park it?" "Bill," his mother said, "we've talked about your sarcasm." "It's not sarcasm," his father said. "I'm being James's father didn't get to finish his sentence. It was interrupted by an ear-splitting roar coming from James's bedroom. For a few seconds, neither one of his parents said anything. "Maybe I'll name her Tiger," said James, "to confuse people." "James," said his father quietly, "what was that?" "That was Trixie the Second." "Oh, dear me," said his mother, crossing herself. James's father craned his head to peer down the hall towards James's bedroom. After a moment, he knelt down in front of his son and put his hands on his shoulders. "James," he said, "I need you to be completely, 100% honest with me. No make-believe, no story time. Can you do that?" James nodded. "Sure I can." He noticed a droplet of sweat dripping down his father's forehead. "Okay, great," said his father in a strange, small voice. "James, is there a lion, a real lion, in your bedroom?" "Dad," James said patiently, "we've been over this." His father stared at him. James sighed. "Of course there is, Dad." "Ah!" his mother screamed. "Ah!" "Helen, stop it," snapped his father. His father stood up. "This is ridiculous. I don't know what that noise was, but there is not a lion in your bedroom." James's father walked angrily to the broom closet. He opened the door, pulled out a mop with a long wooden handle, and began marching toward the hallway. "For gosh sake, Bill," his mother said, grabbing him by the shoulder, "let's just get out of here and call the police or animal control or someone, please." "And tell them what?" His father wheeled around to face her. "What? That we have a lion in the house? Oh, I'm sure they'll send a car right out." "Tell them that her name is Trixie the Second," said James. "Someone might have met her before." Bill, I'm not calling anyone, his father said. With that, he turned and stomped down the hallway. James and his mother looked down after him. Do you think Dad and Trixie the second will get along? James asked his mother. Dad is so moody these days, and Trixie the second is kind of mellow. Quiet, his mother hissed. Pause the video. Okay, we're going to keep reading. Sorry. So James said, do you think Dad and Trixie the second will get along? Dad is so moody these days, and Trixie the second is kind of mellow. Quiet, his mother said. They watched his father approach the door. He reached for the handle and, holding the mop high in his other hand, gently swung the door open and poked his head around the corner. James barely had time to be curious about his father's reaction before his father turned on his heels, slammed the door shut, and went sprinting down the hallway towards James and his mother. Get out of the house right now, his father hollered as he ran. Go, run, now, move, move, move. His father practically shoved James and his mother through the living room and out the front door. When they were outside, his father doubled over, panting for breath. Where in the world did you get a lion? He yelled at James. You mean it's real? His mother screamed, her eyes bugging. Ah! They come from Africa, right? Said James. Sorry again. We're going to keep reading. Okay. You mean it's real? His mother screamed, her eyes bugging. Ah! They come from Africa, right? Said James. By this time, neighbors had heard the commotion and begun gathering. Their next-door neighbors were the Horwitzes. Mr. Horwitz walked up to James's father. Bill, is something the matter? James's father turned and stared at Mr. Horwitz. There's a lion in my son's bedroom. Mr. Horwitz threw a quick, worried glance at his wife, who was standing on their front lawn. His wife shrugged. Okay, said Mr. Horwitz slowly. Do you want us to call somebody? Her name is Trixie the second, explained James. Or maybe Mr. Botticelli. I like how that name sounds. Call somebody, his father yelled. Call anybody. There's a lion in my son's bedroom. Helen, said Mr. Horwitz quietly, should we call somebody? I don't even know, said James's mother, breaking down in sobs. I never know. By this time, a dozen neighbors had gathered in front of James's house. All of them were yelling at each other, trying to figure out what had happened, when suddenly everyone froze. There at the front door of James's house was a massive African lion. Everyone stared at it, completely silent. For a few moments, the lion stared back. Finally, she let out a long sigh. Guys, the lion said, I know I'm a guest, and I don't mean to be a pain, but I had a really late night last night, and I have a client meeting at 10, so I was really hoping to sleep in. Do you think you guys could keep it down just a little bit? Thanks. And with that, the lion turned and walked back in the house. What about Rambo? Said James. That's a cool name. Rambo. Yeah, I like that. Okay, that's the end of that story, and I'm going to post a video of us working on the summary together next.